Radio.
All right, we are live. Hey, folks, if you can hear us right now, let me know. We need to know how we're doing. I'm looking for an audio check, folks. Are we live right now? Can you hear us? Looks like, according to everything I'm looking at, we are live. Welcome to the studio. Share this online. Coming in hot. In hot. So what I need to know from you folks is can you hear us okay? Got some feedback. Lower the mic. Hey folks, can you hear us okay? How do we sound? All that stuff. I need to know from you folks. This is our first run. We've done test runs. But yeah, I need to know from you folks if you can hear us okay. So whoever's listening right now, like Crystal and all them, if you can hear us, we need to know how we're doing right now. Welcome to the new studio. Thank you to Great Skateboards for all they have done for us. We are well set up. We are running and live. Getting your ass kicked by a microphone stand right now. Not sure what it looks like. With caviar, chill of 6 years, the Air Force at the show. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Hey, how do we sound? We have all new audio and all new microphones and stuff like that. So, Robert, how do we sound? Please, by all means, let me know. And folks, if you are watching and you send me a text message, be like, hey, you got no audio, please let me know. And we'll make that happen. We'll fix whatever we need to fix. But welcome to the studio. Well, thanks.
Going live, and folks, we are not.
You have a severe double reverb. No, keep talking. All right. So it sounds like it needs to probably turn the microphone off on this laptop. Mute it somehow. See what I can hear. Microphone. Is there a way to microphone? Mute myself. Voice control. Relay. Prowess. I wonder if there's a way to mute. This is why I need Brandon here right now. This all works. Looking at the controls, voice control, voice, text. Yeah, I want that. How do I shut off the microphone on the laptop? Sound input. Try there. Sound input. Mac Pro microphone. Let's shut that all the way off. Let's see if that fixes our input volume 0. Pro effects external. Let's turn that all the way off. How about now, Ron? Let us know if we've been able to fix that. I appreciate your feedback and appreciate you helping me out with the audio. This has been one of the number one complaints on the show is we're using the laptop. I'll ping you when it sounds normal. Okay, cool. We need to calm Hopefully that what I just did fixed it. Gail Davis, how do we sound? Still reverb. Okay. Now I'm not sure. Do you have reverb?
Not in my iPhone, but I got the same messages.
Didn't have this problem when we left for Christmas. Mac Pro microphone is muted. External microphone is muted. Everything is coming from Pro FX. We should be there. Everything should be correct. I'm not sure. Let's try it. Output volume. That's muted. Headphones. Pro speakers. Turn those Pro speakers all the way down. See if that fixes it. Samsung Series 4. Cancel that. I'm not sure what the hell that is. This is frustrating, because we had this right before we left. What do you think, man? Do we still have everything going on? Both of you are Christina Williams is watching. Christina Williams, how do you sound? We have a lot of people are telling us that we have a reverb problem right now, or an echo problem. Can you tell us if you have that? Maybe the audio source. Sometimes mine goes to the default. That's what I was just messing with on the laptop, trying to get it right.
You're so far beyond what my capabilities are.
We had this fixed before we left.
Dude, I'm the mountain.
Okay. See what else I can fix in here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna mess with. Take my microphone.
Oh wow, this is. I wish I could just like turn the camera. Follow and watch these humorous things. You are definitely. I would not say tingling as much as I would say
About to kill somebody.
Rating.
What else can I mute? Can you see what we're getting for on my phone? We're getting the feedback from people as to what is and is not correct.
Echo.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of echo. All right.
But on a good side, does the studio look good?
Yeah. Better. Let's try this. What about now?
What about now?
Robert Garcia, fix it. I just unplugged a different microphone. Tell me if that changes. And my concern, Robert, is that whatever I just did, we're not going to be able to hear it again. That's going to bother me. Same. Still the same. It's not good. Oh, you're just breaking all kinds of shit here, aren't you?
I don't even know.
I'm not sure how that goes. Same. I have exhausted my talent. Should we unplug everything and go back to our couch? So we have a decent show.
How about we unplug and stay right here?
Good. All right. Yeah.
Hey, I'm even gonna keep the microphone.
But I just muted all of our microphones.
Might want to unmute that. Folks, give us.
Mike. How about now, Robert Garcia? Can you hear us at all? How do we sound?
Zero sound. Maybe because the volume's down.
We had this fixed before we left. I'm really pissed right now. Volume is all the way up there. Volume.
We're good.
Oh, cool. Thank you. We have the best people in the house. So, no, you got it. All right. Well, kind of. The problem is we want to be using all this cool stuff that our friends with Warriors Next Adventure sent us so that we could get it right. Our problem, as you can tell, is that we are idiots when it comes to audio stuff.
They don't pay us the big bucks for being the tech guys.
I know.
What are those called? The tech guys.
Brandon Bartlett's.
Brandon Bartlett. Oh man.
I'm so disappointed that didn't work the way we wanted it to.
You know what? Somebody.
Whoa.
This is not going well.
Whoa. Let's do this for you. Unplug the headphone part.
since that's not doing anything anymore. But hopefully, folks, you can hear us, and hopefully our audio is not too terrible. What do you think of the new studio? If you look behind us, thank you to Raid Skateboards for setting us up for success in a big way.
I was just going to say, yeah, in APD, Aurora Police Department, part of their community servicing, but that's also Raid Skateboard.
Yeah, yes, it is.
My dad did the flag. Let's see here. Yeah. You know what's crazy?
Everything I say.
Generally speaking. Generally, we do some sort of show prep.
Yeah, today show prep was
not
put everything together. Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to. Our Carl is pretty simple.
Okay, what's our Carl? You?
Secretary. Well, yeah, that too. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. It's a great display. I've been a skater since 1990. Fun tat. I owned a skate company for a couple of years. And we're hearing perfect and better. Okay, cool. Well, so we're gonna go with what we know. The feedback that we get often from folks is that our audio is not that great.
Terrible.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So our friends with Warriors Next Adventure donated us a bunch of equipment for us to get stood up and get, including microphones, and the folks with U.S. Army WTF Moments donated us a bunch of equipment, microphones, headsets, all this cool stuff. The problem is we're not smart enough to make it work through the soundboard that we have, so it's kicking our ass. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin went into the hospital while President Biden was away on vacation.
Okay.
Didn't think it was worth mentioning to anyone. I realize we have an assistant Secretary of Defense, but don't you think that's the kind of thing that should be communicated to, like, I don't know, everybody? Or, in your opinion, is that one of those giving away intel kind of things and probably should not have told the world that homeboy was in the hospital? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, if generally speaking, I would say that telling, POTUS that you're going to the hospital is not telling everybody, but, POTUS has diarrhea of the mouth. So,
do you WTF Moments just mentioned us in the comment. What's wrong with the guys at the Super Secret location? Why do they sound like they're underwater?
All sorts of fancy toys and
yeah, we're a little overly complicated for us. Yeah. Whatever, man. Doesn't matter. Do you want to tell them who we got coming up?
I do, guys and gals. We found this guy last year. I'm trying to remember what it was exactly. Either way, last year
wasn't that long ago.
I came across this guy, and I ended up with one of the things that he makes. These super cool utensils of fucking violence.
That's a skull splitter if I've ever seen one.
Yes.
You want to bury it in someone's forehead.
He does these. He does some paintings. He does bats. He does all these like really cool things. Navy vet. Anyway, his company's Northwoods Carvings. He's going to be on here in a little bit to chat with us a little bit about his service, his company, what he does.
And he looks just like that.
He does.
What's up, you guys?
Did that cough medicine before he came on the show? Is that what just happened?
Yeah, that's definitely cough medicine. It's the season, man.
Dave, what's up, man?
How are you guys?
It's been a little rough start to the show. I don't know if you heard, but I mean, we're getting there. So, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Spent the last 30 minutes trying to get ready for it myself, trying to make sure cameras worked. And
dude, this thing is bad at. Well, if it makes you feel any better, we worked for 2 weeks to make it sound right. And so, yeah, whatever. I like your skull splitter.
Thanks.
I really want to bury this in somebody's head.
Yeah, that's actually a cold steel axe.
Does that mean
do the artwork on it?
You can call it whatever you want. I call it a weapon of happiness, man. I really want to. I mean, you can't help but do like the Patriot scene, tuck it into your belt, and you want to. We were down here before with our executive director was down here with us, and he's like, "Hey, I know exactly how I want to display this." He's like, "I'm just going to jam this thing into the wall." And the executive director was like, "Under no circumstances is that going to happen."
I didn't say anything. I said, I know exactly how to hang this. And she turned around and was like, you are not putting that in the wall. And I'm like,
So what we need to do is get one of those like Annie CPR heads.
oh my God.
And just bury it right in the center of the CPR head and put it right
Hang on.
here.
That'll work.
Oh,
That'll work.
David, how is your 2024 so far?
It's been good. I rolled into the whole Christmas break with two carvings that were due. So I just finished one. I got the second one is getting all drawn out. It's a big 6-foot walking stick, and 10 paintings. So I finished 3 of those now and got seven more to go. So it's been a good start to the year.
Nice. I'm seeing from when I first started following you, I'm seeing a lot more painting than before.
Yeah, what's up with that?
So when I started, it was all carving, and I'd never touched a paintbrush. People asked if I would paint anything. I was like, nah, I'm not a painter. I don't know what I'm doing. And last year, last year after I got out of the Navy, carving got real slow. Right around December, January, like abnormally slow. And so there was only a couple jobs that had come in, and my buddy who was in the Marines, he's an author. If you guys have heard of Smoke Pit Fairy Tales, that'll be my plug for that book series. The guy's name is Trip Ainsworth. And so he self-publishes, he's done 10 books now. And Trip had put out this painting that was this neon pink Minuteman skeleton that was like sniping somebody out, like this really long painting, sniping some dude out his like 50 cal muzzle loader. It was the most gangster painting I'd ever seen. Like, I don't buy paintings or artwork. Well, I talked to my wife and I was like, dude, I need this. And she's like, David, where would we put that? Like, I don't know, in the kitchen. So
right over the top.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds good to me, but she said that was a no. So while carving was slow, I thought, maybe I'll try my. I know. I was like, maybe I'll try my hand at painting, and so I did a Viking ship, and that turned out pretty cool. And by the time I had finished the first 5 paintings in the first week, 3 of them had sold. I'd gotten a commission for something, and then it just kind of blew up. Carving jobs started coming in, fewer and further in between, and started getting overloaded with painting commissions. Last year I did 215 paintings starting in February.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. It became full time pretty quick. It was cool.
Good. So let's usually we start with this, but I know you're a veteran. I know a little bit about you, but tell our listeners a little bit about your military service, if you would, please.
So I joined in 2012, super late. I was 28 when I joined. I'd been given opportunities to run a fencing studio early in my 20s, like sword fighting. I was a fencing coach. Yeah. Of all the random things. And so I kind of took that.
Artist and a sword fighter?
Yeah, it's pretty gay.
Gay? Dude, that is super. That's Renaissance man right there.
It's like par for the course with being in the Navy, right?
Dude, that's super badass. You're a sword fighting instructor. That's super badass.
Yeah, it used to be. So I ended up running that. I had my own studio. We were pretty successful for what it was. Ran that until I was 28, and then at 28, like you start looking at, okay, how much are you making right now? It's enough to survive on, but not enough to like buy a house or have a family. Or there's no way you could, get a girl working that job and like end up having kids. So I figured it was time to kind of chase the other dream and go join the military and go, play around with the Marines. So at 28, I joined, became a corpsman. My first 2 years were at the School of Infantry. Loved every second of that. We hiked 1 to 2 times a week, 5 to 20K each hike, and just jumped right back to it each time. It was a lot of fun, a lot of wear and tear though. From there, I went to 1st LAR and then 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines as a corpsman. Blew my knee out while I was with 3-5, deployed on it. Nowhere special. We went to Oki. So that was that was its own experience. And then after that, came back and got transferred to the hospital after getting knee surgery, and then sat at the Naval Hospital on Camp Pendleton for a couple of years. The first year I ran the PRT office, we took everybody that was on the Fat Kid program, and there was a lot because it was a Naval Hospital, but we were able to take all of those guys and get 100% of them to pass their next weigh-in and PRT, and we got about 80% of them off the Fat Kid program. That's how successful we were with it. It was pretty cool. The chief that was, yeah.
But I love, you are the epitome of a veteran. You are so incredibly humble and just self-deprecating. And dude, you're a sword fighting teacher who makes, you were a medic for the Marines, and you're like, oh, what woman would want a guy like that? All of them?
Well, not when you can't pay the bills at that time. So that was a big part of why I joined at the time too. Is I'm going to need to look at retirement and healthcare and all these things. But so yeah, we in that PRT office, we had that fitness office. We had this new chief that came in who was asking me to gun deck records. So I told him to go fuck himself, and I got fired. They moved me. So one of the E6s that I had in at 3.5 had texted me, and he was like, dude, I heard you're out of a job. I need a new E5 to come work for me. And I was like, yeah, you were pretty good to me over with the battalion. So like, I'll come work for you, which was like one of the biggest mistakes I'd ever made, because working for this guy meant I was going from being with the infantry to running clinics in mental health, which is not where we belong at all. So that was a real tough adjustment. Did that for a couple of years, and then left that Naval Hospital and came out here to San Antonio to come teach at Corpsman A School. So I taught here, and then we got hit with the vaccine mandates. I said no. I requested a religious waiver, and they said no to me. And then they said, while you're waiting here, if you want to withdraw your waiver, you can, and just be a straight denier and get kicked out that way. It had been a whole year at this point going through that process, and I said, all right, fuck it, sure. Like, I'm done. Like, y'all have abused me so bad at this point. I'm done. So we took it. Ended up getting discharged. Went through the whole disability process while I was still in. Had a real good guy doing all the paperwork for me over at Fort Sam, and ended up walking away with 100% disability. I've got arthritis everywhere, so that was pretty helpful. But so now the family's taken care of, and don't need to make a whole lot to support the family now, but that lets me focus on carving and artwork, and doing it full time doesn't really matter what you pull in all that much. So I'm able to paint full time, take care of the kids, be here with the boys, and hang out with the wife. It's a pretty good life.
How many littles do you have?
I got 2. One's 8, one's 2.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, were you artistic before you joined the military?
Nah. Nah, the family was. My grandma and grandpa were painters. My grandma was like classically trained or whatever. She went to school for it. Everybody in the family picked up some artistic gift. I was a bass player when I was younger, but couldn't really draw, do anything else. Started drawing three years. Yeah. Started drawing 3 years ago with the carving, and then started painting in February.
So tell us about the birth of Northwoods Carving, because Seth's been talking about you for months. When I reached out and you're like, hell yeah, I'll be on the show, I was super excited. So I started scrolling through the gram. Dude, your stuff is awesome. I love your art. That's really good stuff.
Thanks. Yeah. So the carving was a COVID hobby, and it spawned from the stupidest circumstance imaginable. And I got to kind of set up the scene for you first. So, like I said, I was running mental health clinics as a former infantry corpsmen, right? So we're sitting there running mental health clinics, and COVID happens, and they start locking down the whole base. Everybody's going home, nobody's working. They start locking down all the hospitals and all the branch clinics. Well, my branch clinic, the mental health clinics, were way out away from the main hospital in the middle of Camp Pendleton at Lake O'Neill. And you had to drive up but we couldn't let patients come in. So even though our clinic was closed, you still had to have somebody at the front door to kind of like scan the employees and like take temperatures of employees as they came in, and then redirect Marines for how to, you know, contact their provider. So we set up a COVID entry control point tent outside the mental health clinics for an entire year. We sat outside with way too many staff taking temperatures of these kids. The middle of that base where we were at in the summer, it gets up to like 110 degrees because you're kind of sitting in this valley. So you're just like sitting in this stupid tent, dying. No gym, no way to work out. Like you got to go like run the trails on your own or whatever. So we're sitting there, and I look at my dude. I was like, Gabe, you know what we should do? He's like, what? Like, we're working out of the football field, right? There's all those stupid Marines up there. And he's like, yeah. I was like, dude, what if we got a sledgehammer and carved that shit and like put like dumb shit on it, and then started running around the football field like PTing in silkies and like tank tops with a sledgehammer, like a bunch of jackasses, so that the Marines would look at us and be like, okay, there goes those crazy corpsmen again. Hilarious. He's like, yeah, dude. So we did. And I carved the first one. I put Odin at the top of it. And then we would sit there. So we would work out with it. And then we would sit there at our stupid tent taking temperatures. And like, we would have the sledgehammer with Odin sitting right there. And like, people would come up and ask a question. So I'd like look at Odin and ask him the question. Say, Odin says, go here. Just to get this reputation of this like crazy corpsman working at mental health. Pretty funny. So that turned into, I thought it would be good to do Christmas presents. So I started carving a couple axes. The second one was terrible. The third one was pretty cool. Sent that to an old RP buddy. The fourth one was for my dad for Christmas, and the fifth one was a sale. And then the sixth one was a sale that I sent across the country, and then it blew up. So I started doing the side hustle carving, and it was great. It was great until, so I put the Constitution on your axe, right?
Yeah.
It was great until I started doing that. So I used to be able to run an ad on Instagram for like $100 for a week. And that would get the page 500 new followers. I get 2 or 3 orders off of it. Like the profit margins were good. Like everything was solid, right? And then I started doing the Constitution bats, which is like this one. So just a bigger version of that axe. And the whole thing was made to look like a scroll, like the Constitution was all rolled up. And then it just, kind of folds into the page, just like that axe is. And the first month I ended up selling like 20 of them. And it was really good. It was great. And then the next month sold like 10 of them, and it was still really good. And then I was blocked from being able to run ads on Instagram anymore because of all the political stuff going on, and I was titling it the Constitution Bat. So I started a second Instagram page and then a third Instagram page, trying to find a way that I could run an ad on the gram, on Facebook, on Twitter. Every platform was denying any advertising because it said Constitution, and anything pro-American was getting blocked and banned. So I immediately suffered to where I was like, dude, I don't got to work for the Navy anymore if I can keep putting these bats out. This is awesome. So I ended up starting another page called The People Bat, because that's about as innocuous as you can imagine, and got a little bit of traction on that until that one got blocked also. They were saying
I don't know because the microphones on your end, but I can hear his blood pressure rising as you tell this story.
Oh yeah. No, mine was boiling too. Like it makes you so mad as a small time artist who's like just trying to put his thing out there, to have something that like honors the country, honors the service that you did, that a lot of people love. And if you don't love it, okay, that's cool, man. Like block the page and move on. like life's cool, America's cool. Like we have that right to like what you do and not like what you don't. But it was blocked and hidden everywhere. So no ads were being run. I was trying to figure out how I could do it, spending way too much money and not bringing enough in. And we were pretty sure as I was being kicked out of the Navy for the vaccine, that it was all like all the artwork was going to be done. Like I was going to have to go back and get a real job again. Just not sure. And then started painting, and that kind of blew up. And so we were good after that. But yeah, the carving the Constitution into stuff like damn near killed the business.
That's crazy.
The coolest part of those was I ended up getting a request for a custom one from this guy named River, who ended up being the brother of Congressman Madison Cawthorn, the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got one of the bats. So that was pretty cool.
I mean, yeah. How have those jerk offs not reined in some of these social media? We have only ever had one show taken down, and it was with our friend Alan with Patriot Cigars.
You're gonna jinx us right now. We're gonna get this one.
Probably.
Yeah. And yeah, they took us down before the end of the show.
Dang.
It pissed me off so much. So yeah, dude, I'm irritated for you, like in a huge way. Tell him to help you out with social media.
Yeah, so social media, I grew on my Instagram page. It was up to like 42,000 people on it, and like it was great. And then once I started getting like outright banned and then shadow banned, I would post a random picture of like an axe in progress or a painting in progress, and just an average picture would get like 300 likes. A really good photo, like a finished piece, might get 1,000 or 2,000 likes on Instagram. A lot of people would see it. Real good response. Now I'm lucky if a finished piece gets like 15. Not 1,500,
dude.
Not 150, 15. Posted a finished axe a couple days ago, and that one pulled in like 50. So I'm still, even though like now a year later I can run ads again, but you end up spending a bunch of money and it doesn't do anything. You're still losing more followers than you're gaining, even running ads, and it's still not being seen or responded to. Spend $100 and end up getting 300 likes over the course of that week. So it's wild.
People still order these?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've got a big walking stick I'm carving right now.
Go to Northwoods Carving.
Yeah.
Go to Northwoods Carving. Order yourself a skull splitter. Order yourself a painting. Order yourself a Constitution bat. They're super badass. And the fact that this dude is getting shut down by these social media companies, yeah, now I'm irritated.
Everywhere, yeah.
Maybe that's why we're getting so much reverb, is because Facebook was giving us the
knew.
They knew you were coming on the show.
Yeah.
That's why we couldn't get our audio tonight. I'm blaming the social media companies.
That's
Damn
fine with
communists.
Damn commies.
But Rob doesn't wear those clothes anymore. Shut up, Dick. Some of our listeners are kind of assholes, like my best friend Roy Gagney. Fuck that guy. So yeah, folks, if you're hearing this, go on to Northwoods Carving. How can people find your stuff?
So the Instagram is Northwoods_carving. They can go to northwoodsart.co.co. That's the painting website. Northwoodscarving.com is the carving website. They can find me on, I just joined Twitter. We're up to about 400 people, or not Twitter, TikTok, the forbidden app. So just join that one. That one's Northwoods Carving 1. And then there's an Etsy shop for the paintings and all that too. I built each of the websites. If it doesn't work, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing.
Dude,
but yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so irritating. This is why I told you when we talked, we don't script our interviews, because I thought we were just going to talk about, the shit you make. I had no, and we went a whole different direction.
Yeah, there's been a big story with it all.
A lot.
It's been pretty wild.
I'm going to hit you up afterwards because Alan with Patriot Cigars, he got us onto like Rumble and a couple other platforms that has really helped us kind of a little bit. So I'll send you an email afterwards. You know,
Cool,
there's some
sounds
good
good.
stuff that you can get done, build your business and whatnot. Dude, that pisses me off to no end. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking to my homeboy with Northwoods Carving. Sorry, I screw that up all the time. With Northwoods Carving. Go to Northwoods Carving on Instagram, Facebook. Order yourself one of these sweet skull splitters. Order yourself one of his amazing paintings, dude. Your art is absolutely beautiful. And support this guy because he's being shut down unfairly, as far as we're concerned. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, I can't say enough good things. As soon as the show ends, I'll be going on and I'll be ordering myself a skull splitter because that thing is just super badass, dude.
Hell yeah, brother. Shoot me a message.
So, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
David, thanks for coming on.
Oh, no, we got to give him his 2 minutes. I almost forgot.
Holy crap.
That's just you. I'm sorry. I forgot, dude. I'm sorry.
No, I forgot until you just said it. I wasn't starting to. I was about to be like, thanks for being on.
Before we cut you loose, my hetero life mate here will give you the instructions for getting out of here. Allie, I'll be right there. I'm sorry. I haven't forgany you.
We will get ironed out
We're going to get
by show 2 in 2020. It's like a reset every New Year's. We give you about 2 minutes. If there's something we missed or glossed over, it's now your time to hit those points if you want. And we don't really time you, but we got about 2 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think we covered all the hot topics. There was just a long story, a lot of sub stories to it. And you know, now with the painting, head to northwoodsart.co if you like what you see. I do a lot of commissions. There's some original stuff on there too, but commissions are my absolute favorite. That was the best part of carving too, was collaborating with somebody and figuring out exactly what they want to see on it, and the back and forth between what they do like, what they don't like, and then having somebody getting something that's so totally unique that like you'll never find anywhere else. So I thought when I started there was a bunch of people doing it, and there's just not. So it's a cool little niche to fall into. But yeah, I just want to say thanks you guys for having me on.
All right, thank you, sir.
I think we need a little something to go under the flag.
Oh,
yes,
that would be
me.
cool. That'd be cool.
We got a little bit of white space here.
And
That
I don't have to put
yeah.
this into the wall
I still think we should get the CPR mannequin head.
just for here.
You gotta just put it right here with a skull splitter right in the
Back
center.
there.
I love it. You got to name that mannequin Doc though.
Yeah, absolutely we do. Hey man, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Aloysius, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, how are you guys? Happy New Year. I'll stay here.
Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year. It's been a little bit of a rough start to the show. Not sure if you heard.
No, I don't listen to the show when I'm not on.
No one else does either. That's okay.
Everything okay? What happened? You're in a new location?
We got all this new gear. And
Good.
over the Christmas break, they're all up.
Did test runs.
Did test runs and everything, and we were thumbs up. We were good to go. And then the computer updated.
Oh.
And so now, yeah. As soon as we got on the air, none of it worked. So, oh well.
I'm sorry. But
That happens.
we're here now.
Yes. What you got there? Oh, those are over in the old studio. I gotta go. We haven't moved those over yet.
Oh no, that makes me sad. It makes me sad. So, yeah. What are we talking about? We're talking about the 15
You tell me.
pages of new updates and crap that I received today. That's a lot. So I don't know. There's so much. Like my brain is just going so fast right now. There's like so much I want to talk about. Vietnam guys, especially Blue Water Navy. So Blue Water Navy guys. The VA has a hotline for Blue Water Navy guys. And if you're not sure if your ship qualifies, the number is 800-749-8387. So the VA no longer has the ship list on their website. You used to be able to go to va.gov and type in Blue Water Navy ships and they come up. They took that off. I don't know why, but they did. So the number is 800-749-8387. 8387. So you were within 12 nautical miles of Vietnam. Make sure your ship is there. There's also, for the brown water Navy guys, there's a website that you can go to, and God damn it, there's a website you can go to. It's W.
Poo, and I heard poo, and I heard brown water guys. What in the F is that?
Brown water Navy. So those are the guys that were inland. Those were the guys who were in the rivers. Like, ever watch Platoon?
Okay, I'm tracking.
Yeah, so the inland river guys, right? The Mekong River, all that crap. So those guys.
It's a reasonable question. I wouldn't have known either. I was about to ask the exact same question.
I didn't even know what blue water guys were. I'm like, I thought they're all just fucking seamen.
I thought it was a homosexual reference.
Yeah.
I was trying to like not say that.
I hope Royce is listening.
Yeah. But a brown water Navy guys, www.hazegray, HAZEGRAY.org for a list of ships and vessels that the VA will presume if you got a funky disease, it's because you were either brown water, blue water Navy.
Now she's going to use it to irritate us.
Now I what?
Now you're just going to use the term just to confuse us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not hard to do.
I was brown dirt army. He was red dirt army. Don't hit me with that.
Yeah, it was red dirt too. That the freaking clay at Fort Gordon would turn our shoes and the back of our legs all muddy red.
And some shaving cream.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh,
I just noticed you guys brought the Lysol can back.
The Lysol can will always be here. The Lysol can is older than the show.
I like that. Let's see what else we got going on. How much in 20?
You sent me a picture of today. Tell me about that book. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so that's the 2023-2024 Veteran Benefit Handbook, and the book behind it, that's the federal regulation book. So that's the 38 CFR, and that's pretty much all the laws, the federal laws that the VA must abide by. And I was reading, I just became so engrossed in the book, and I ended up leaving work an hour late. So my staff had already left, and I'm like, where'd everybody go? I was like, it's 5:00. They already left. And there's so much. The VA has been sued a lot of times. That's what I got. The first 18 pages of the book is the VA has been sued a bunch of times. And it's just, it's, we're getting there. We're getting better. We're getting there.
So
it is actually.
Don't encourage him.
It is. However, when you go for your exam, you have to have an active case. So if you had it and it was treated, you won't get compensated for it. Just
He's like, hey, good news. Rob's about to get 100%.
Yeah, hemorrhoids, right? Hemorrhoids are compensated. If you only have one testicle, if ladies you only have, if you don't have your ovaries.
Damn it, I was just gonna go there.
What if you have 3 testicles?
Then I guess you don't have a problem. You're a lucky guy, I guess. I don't know. More fun for your wife, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, right. No kidding, dude.
But yeah. So I mean, it's been a quiet January so far. The VA is kind of like just. I'm waiting for new information to come out, more rules, more regulations, more updates. We're still like 6-month waiting period. If you file a claim today in January, you probably won't be seen or won't get your claim in until October. So,
Allie, Saturday afternoon, I had coffee with a guy who's running for Congress. And he's like, hey, what are some of the issues facing veterans? And I told him what you told our listeners about, Fort Hood, one VSO for the largest military
One.
installation in the
One.
world.
Casey, one. Yep.
Like, two testicles and no COVID vaccine can make you a millionaire any day now. I love our listeners. I also told him about how where we live here in the South Denver metro area, that most of the VSOs were volunteers. And he's like, he had no idea. He was blown away. He's like, "What? Are you sure?" He's like, "That can't be right." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Hey,
no,
man,
it's right.
I do this all day."
Yeah, it's right. There was 2 bills went up to the House and the Senate, and it didn't pass. And I never remember what those numbers are, but it would ensure $5 million over 5 years for VSOs to get training, so counties can hire VSOs full time. And like, we have it here in Massachusetts pretty phenomenal. And when a veteran complains in my office, and I'm like, you have no idea what it's like in any other state. I was like, you have a VSO in every city in town in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There is a designated VSO. And imagine being in West Virginia and having to drive 3 hours to meet a guy who may or may not show up that day. I don't.
We have 5 military installations in the state of Colorado. 5 of them. 1 Space Force base, 3 Air Force bases, NORAD, and Fort Carson.
Right.
And is that a bomb about to go off? Because it's super cool.
Did you hear that? Sorry.
And the thought that our VSOs are volunteers, like I have a buddy that I worked out with this morning who has been trying to get through to a VSO for months and just can't file a claim.
Yeah.
Like, no one will return his call or his emails.
Yeah. I mean, as hard as I work, and this isn't me like tooting my own horn, I work my ass off, but I get paid. I mean, you're not going to call me 3:00 in the morning like, hey, what's the status of my claim? Like, I don't do that anymore. I used to. There was no boundaries. Like, I would be taking calls on vacation. I don't do that anymore because I burned out really, really fast. And once I burn out, like once that's it, like it's very hard for me to come back. So now I don't work the weekends. I don't answer text messages. I don't do TikTok. I don't do anything on the weekends. That is for me. Now imagine being a volunteer VSO and walking into the office and you have 57 emails, 130 calls, and you're not being paid. Like, why are you going to stress yourself out and make yourself physically sick for a volunteer position? I don't care how much you love your veterans. I don't care how good you are. Nobody is going to do that. Nobody is going to do that.
You got to feed your family.
Yes. Yeah.
Combine that with, we're obnoxious.
Yeah.
We are hard to work with.
Some, not all. Some, like I had a guy today. I was just telling my fiance.
You said we. Are you talking about me?
No, not you.
Fucking easy to do.
No.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's just.
It's like, and like, this is my job. This is my profession. And I don't make, I'm not rich, but I'm okay. I can put food on the table and, I can take trips and I can, I don't have to worry about, do I pay my cell phone bill?
Rich.
What's that?
You're not getting rich.
I'm definitely not getting rich. And I wish sometimes I wish I didn't have a moral compass, because if I charged for every claim I did, you guys would never see my fucking face again. You would never see me on TikTok. I would retire to Costa Rica. I would change my name to Guadalupe, and that's it. Like, you guys would never see me. But there's no way I could charge the tens of thousands of dollars that these shitbag attorneys and like VA claims insiders, I hate them so much. They are predatory. And they are being sued right now in Texas. The Veterans Claims Insider people are being sued by the the Attorney General of Texas for predatory practices. So VA Claims Insider, they are trash, and I really encourage any veteran not to use them. Please don't. Please don't. Like, send me an email. I will walk you through your claim. We'll set up a Zoom appointment if I have to. But don't pay them. They will take up to 20% of your back pay. They're just awful. They're just awful. They misguide veterans. They overpromise, underdeliver, and then veterans are waiting like 2-3 years for something that could have just happened with a higher level review. So please, 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 please don't. How do you become a VSO? In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, we actually work for the cities. So you would apply to your city, and then if you're worth anything, you get the job. Everywhere else, it's by county. So it's a county position. You take a test, you become accredited, and you have to know all these federal laws and Social Security and Medicare, and there's so much stuff that you have to learn. And we don't just file VA claims all day. Like, it's a lot. It's so much work.
So there are people listening right now, and I don't know if you can see the question from Roy Gagney at the bottom of the screen. I hope I didn't just lose you.
Nope, I'm here.
We're
How do you become a VSO? Let's say somebody wants to become a VSO and they're in their town, country, in West Virginia, whatever. How does he go about doing that?
I think
What's a good
I just answered that, so I think there's a delay, or I cut out.
Yeah, sorry, we cut out for a little while. I apologize.
Yeah.
Can you do it again for me, please?
Yep. So everywhere except Massachusetts, a VSO is a county position, unless you work for the VFW or the DAV. Okay, or the American Legion. Sometimes they have VSOs. You have to apply to the county position, respond to the job opening. Then you take a test, you become accredited. It is not an easy test. You get your PIV card from the VA, and then you're able to see all that stuff. It's a lot of studying. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of rules and math and numbers. In the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you apply to the job posting in whatever city or town has the opening. You take the test, you come certified through the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and you're in training. But that's how you become a VSO. There's no school, there's no degree. It's reading and testing.
Yeah, that sounds pretty terrible. And for something like that, you should be paid good money for something like that.
Yeah, we have morphed into becoming social workers, and I wish more veterans understood that we are not. I can't help you with homelessness. Like, I can't give you money. I don't run a nonprofit. I can't put you in a hotel. Like, I'm not a social worker. I can't help you with your addiction. I can refer you to places, but it's not my job to manage you. I can't go grocery shopping with you. I can't find you a nurse. I can't pay your insurance. I am not a social worker. VSOs are not social workers. We do a lot of this extra stuff because we give a shit and we don't want to see somebody up on the street or somebody, miss a meal, but that's not our job. We are here to guide and manage your VA claim, your education claim, make sure your spouse and your dependents are taken care of. If you're homeless, it's not a surprise. Nobody ends up homeless and they're like, oh my God, how did this happen? You know how it happened. Mismanaging money. You're not working. You're buying drugs. You're buying alcohol. Becoming homeless. And this is like, and I'm pretty sure I'm making a lot of people angry right now, but this is the facts. You don't become homeless overnight. Okay. You know what's going to happen. Your landlord gives you notice to quit. Your judge takes you. You're in court and you get the eviction notice. So when you get that notice to quit, when you're like, oh shit, I am out of a job, I just got fired, that's when you should be working to find a VSO, to find an employment specialist, get your resume up to date, start pounding the pavement, start shaking hands with these business owners. Hey, this is what I can do. I have 5 years this. If you come to me on a Friday at 12 o'clock saying I'm homeless over the weekend, I got nothing for you. I have nothing for you. Because all my hotels, I can't even put you in a hotel because all the hotels are being taken over by migrants. So 3 years ago, I could pay for a hotel room for the weekends and then give you to a nonprofit, but I can't do that anymore. Nobody can. We don't have any extra room.
Our phones ring day and night, and all we do is have a radio show. Our phones ring day and night. Hey, this veteran doesn't have heat. Hey, this veteran doesn't have hot water. Doesn't have this, or I met this veteran standing on a street corner. Can you help us out? And we do, but I mean, just like you said,
you don't know, you don't find out overnight that you're going to be homeless. You don't find out overnight that you have a addiction problem or things like this. And another thing is you can only you can guide a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yes.
I think that's I think that's a bit.
Yes.
I'm
There
trying
is
to
get out of
myself
your
in
own
this.
fucking way. Like
I'm assuming a lot of it.
I bleed for you guys. Like my heart aches for you guys. There's almost nothing I won't fucking do to make sure you guys are fed and taken care of and your family has what they need. But some of you guys cannot get out of your own way. You will literally sabotage your progress. And then it's like the woe is me, the poor me, I need a handout. It's like, how many times do I have to help you? How many times do I have to pay your electricity bill, your heating bill? How many times do I have to go grocery shopping with you and for you and teach you how to budget before you're like, okay, I can do this on my own? And how many times is your mental health a major role in why you end up homeless and you refuse to get help?
Yep. Hey, no one is coming. It's up to us. You have to take care of yourself.
You have to. And there's no fucking shame. It is 2024. If you still feel there's a stigma of getting mental health, of going to the vet center, of talking to a therapist, a life coach, somebody, even the guy at the end of the bar at the VFW, right, who's already walked a mile in your shoes, talk to somebody, figure it out. Find somebody smarter than you and ask them for their advice. Because where you're going, like there's better out there. There's better out there. You are literally stuck. Get off your ass. Stop self-sabotaging and go live.
And you're good at what you do. All right, Allie. It's time for the safety brief.
Oh, guys. What am I doing for the safety briefing?
Don't sit next to a man with a skull splitter.
Yeah. Use two hands when you swing the hammer. This just happened. If you're going to clean your weapon, please make sure that there is no ammunition in the weapon. Please. Can you treat your weapons like they're always loaded? Don't shoot. Don't point it at anybody. Like, we shouldn't have to hear about accidental discharges in 2024. We know better. We know this. Handle your weapons with care. And
that's not a sexual innuendo.
It's not. I mean, I do you want it to be? No, like, but seriously, like, we just had a guy fucking kill himself, who accidentally shot himself because he was clean. And I'm like, who still cleans their weapons with ammunition loaded?
No, no.
Who does that? And now he's dead. So
you got one shot.
Do better.
Choose your fights wisely. Some of us motherfuckers are not the ones you want to pick.
Ooh, that's the truth. I mean, if jiu-jitsu teaches you nothing, it's that the other guy is more of a badass than you think you are. So yeah, do not pick fights. I like your attitude on that one.
In general, don't pick fights. But if you're going to,
I was driving
carefully.
I was driving, had to be Saturday night, and I'm driving through a town here at south end of Denver. And as I'm passing down Main Street, some dude, I don't know what he was thinking, but just decided to stand in front of my truck as we were driving. And I'm like,
what?
Dude, what are you doing? Yeah. My wife's like, run his ass over. I'm like, I'm not going to run his ass over. I might shoot him if he walks towards the truck, but I'm not running his ass over. I'm like, why would you do that? What do you think?
So, Roy, yes, go to NACVSO.org. That's the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers.org. And there you can learn stuff.
Because you drive like a dope. Man, Roy Gagne is just racking up the points tonight.
We should pay him.
Yeah.
You're going to pay him, but you're not paying me? That's sexist.
You got to make more fun of us.
It's because we're the superior sex. It's not your fault.
Oh.
I hope I'm not starting an argument.
I'm so happy she doesn't have one of these right now, and she's not next to you.
I got this for you. Can't wait to see you at the wedding.
Yay! You know what? I'm crossing you off my list.
What?
She knows
Yes,
how are you going to fire your bridesmaids?
I'm not having bridesmaids.
Well, you do now. My part of the safety brief is, folks, when you're in the gym, use clips on your weights.
I've never used them in my life.
I know so many people. And do not work out without a spotter. Do not bench press without a spotter. You're asking for something bad to happen. The laughter of everyone in his embarrassment is enough payment for me. I hate our listeners. Hey, folks, we're coming to the end of the show. First show of 2024. We're going to do our never forgotten part. When you put your head on your pillows tonight, before you put your head on your pillow, when you put your hands together and you drop to your knees and you start saying your prayers, remember Army Specialist Nathaniel H. Johnson, 22 of Augusta, Georgia, assigned to Company D Aviation, 82nd Support Battalion, 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, killed in action when his UH-60 Blackhawk crashed near Fallujah, Iraq. A Fort Bragg soldier died in a Black Hawk helicopter crash and mourned by family as well as friends in his Georgia high school he visited before he deployed to Iraq. Felix Johnson said he last talked with his 22-year-old son, Army Specialist Nathaniel H. Johnson, when Johnson called him from a hospital in Baghdad near where he was stationed with the 82nd Airborne. He was an all-around good fellow, and I'm going to miss him a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember Army Specialist Nathaniel H. Johnson tonight in your prayers. Allie, thank you so much for being a part of From the Ashes. We really, really appreciate your time. You're still not getting paid, but we still really appreciate you being here.
That's okay.
Got anything before we cut this loose?
No.
Hey, folks, we will see you next week. Send us your stuff for the safety brief, and hopefully we have our audio figured out by next week.
Woo!
Allie, thank you so much.
Bye, boys.
Bye, folks.